Hi guys, this is Alia Jamal. I'm the love coach and I help women, I guide women, or I teach women to develop unconditional love for themselves and fall in love with themselves inside out and become love. That's my mission and passion in life. Today's video is about heartbreak, and that is one of the topic that's very close to my heart because that's how I got onto this path, going through heartbreak and learning how to put all the pieces back together. And it has been a very interesting journey. This video is not about my own journey. This video is about what a heartbreak is. So what we know about heartbreak is like, from the movies or the romantic heartbreak, like, somebody left you or you went through divorce or somebody cheated on you and then you were just in love with someone and now you just have this achy heart and we label that as heartbreak. That's one way it happens, but there's multiple ways that we experience heartbreak that we are not aware of, and that causes an energetical heart wall around our heart. And that is what I am all about, how to clear that heart wall, that energetical heart wall, and to enhance our experience of life. So that's what I'll be talking about in this video. So the first thing, what can cause a heartbreak? So again, I'm going to start from our childhood. Maybe when you were a kid, somebody violated your privacy. And in that moment, it was so hard. It was such a tough moment for you that you kind of like disconnected a little bit because our body, like as human beings, we are the highest creation. No matter what happens with us, we are unstoppable. We keep going. But then it depends where we are taking the energy from, which system, which part of us we are extracting that energy to keep going. That completely changes how we would feel in this life. So let's say if somebody violated your rights while it was by beating you or it was by some kind of sexual abuse that you went through as a child. So what happens, we literally put, because our heart, it's too much to take, so our hearts want to, like, sometimes people, they feel like their heart is just gonna come out of their chest. It's beating that fast, and our body has amazing safety mechanism. So what it does, it puts an energetical wall literally around our heart, physical heart, or our heart chakra. And that specific incident, the energy of it is going to sit on back of your heart. So this is front heart chakra, and the back heart chakra is exactly the same place on the back of your body, on your back, in the middle back, right? That's where it is. And that energy sits there. And what would happen in that child's life, they would withdraw from other people. People might say, oh, she doesn't talk to anybody. The reason I'm using the word she, because I help women and I am a woman. So those are the people I can connect with more. Not that, men don't go through it. So many men, they go through the same kind of trauma that women go through. They just don't talk about it. Um, so then we just, go inward. It's like everything is scary. It's hard to connect with someone because it's hard to trust with someone. Once your heart has been broken, it's very hard to trust someone again. And, you know, that kids grows up, and when they grow up to be an adult, they have hard time connecting with other people, so their romantic relationships are going to suffer. They might be somebody who like jumps from one relationship to the other and they're just like, yeah, I'm in love, but I'm not really sure. They don't feel safe to really open up their heart to anybody because it has that energetical wall they always want to protect themselves, but it's all unconsciously done. It's not that they think and they're like, okay, today I'm going to protect myself from any further hurt. It's not like that. It's all subconscious behavior that our body has to protect us from further harm. So that's when people end up having problem in their marital relationship because they are not able to connect if other person is trying to connect, and they can't really open up and connect with another human being on that level. Because as human we can tell, you can tell when your friend is really present and connected with you or when they are not. Even if you cannot verbalize it, you can feel it, and it will be like, I don't know, that person is just off, maybe we should stop hanging out. Like, even as a friend you can feel. Imagine how as a romantic partner you can feel. Of course you can feel that. So that is one way you can experience heartbreak. And another way you can experience heartbreak is, like, if you lose someone so close to you when you're young, and that's when you kind of lose trust in life because, you know, as kids, it's very hard for them to understand the whole concept of death because everything is very literal for them. They don't understand the bigger concepts. So it's very hard for them to understand that concept. So again, what ends up happening, they put that energetical wall around their heart. So when they grow up, they again have this trust issue that they don't really trusting. It doesn't mean that they are not going to be successful in life. They could be very, very successful, but when it comes to connecting with other people, trusting other people with their emotions and with their feelings, they will be hesitant about it just a little bit. Another way you can experience heartbreak is, like, let's say maybe you're in teenage years and it's your first crush and the first person you ever fell in love with. That's the first time you even experience, and that person was already taken, or that person just made fun of you. And there's million gazillion ways things go in middle school and high school. It could be one of those scenarios. Again, you end up putting an energetical wall around your heart where you don't trust. And it could be even like experiencing extreme sickness. Like some people very at a very young age, they go through some kind of sickness, and then it's a little hard for them to trust their body again. And again, the trust goes to connecting with other people. The connection would be a little bit off. Now, what can we? Mm, okay, so we talked about the heartbreak. But what can we do to undo it? So one thing that I do as a panic healer, I do help my clients like energetically remove that. Before I even get there, I want to mention that I learned the term heart wall from Dr. Bradley. I'm not sure what his last name is. I'm not going to make up a name. He has a book called The Emotions Code. And there he goes very deeply into heart wall, and he uses different techniques to remove it. Maybe you can check out that book and you can, do it at home to try to remove that heart wall. He has like amazing stories in it. So I'm sure, like, it will definitely benefit you. It's called The Emotions Code, and the author name is Dr. Bradley, and the rest I cannot remember. I'm sure you will find it. That is one way, you can learn a little bit more about it. And I do, if somebody comes to me with, like, okay, I have these emotional issues, I have hard time connecting with other people. I know that something happened in their past, that they're putting this heart wall on their heart, and we remove it energetically using the pranic healing tools that we have. Or when someone comes to me for coaching and they are going through this hard time of connecting with other people, usually they're having hard time in their marriage, and they come for relationship coaching perspective, and we end up doing removing, like, going back to that event disconnecting from that energy, changing the beliefs. Like we do this whole deep inner work where that that energy we end up removing it, or like the better word to use would be we let it go, we release it, and the person, like, they kind of like come back together. Their heart feels like their own. When it feels like it's their own, they can connect better with other people. And that was like, the general, but I want to get into a very specific heartbreak. That is when someone gets cheated on. When someone gets cheated on in a romantic relationship, that would have to be like the biggest, the craziest heartbreak that someone can go through. It hurts really bad too. And the reason it is that intensive, because when we fall in love with someone, that love is very intensive too. It has its own energy and drive. And when that dream falls apart, our heart falls apart too, energetically. Not like the physical heart, it stays there. But what does happen when they, find out or anything, it's just pumping, pumping, pumping. Their heartbeat will get so fast. They might have an anxiety attack, or so many things can go on. They might be, some people I know, they even end up in a hospital. Um, Heartbreak could take such a big toll on them. Some people, they'll be crying for days and they'll be like, I'm never going to believe in anyone again. And also, usually it happens when we are adult already. We have all the cognitive functions working. We are not a kid anymore, and we take things more personally than we would have done taken when we are maybe 5 year old, and somebody was misbehaving with us. We take everything to our identity, because I'm assuming it's happening like in late teenage years or in 20s, and that's when our identities already form. So what ended up happening, we lose our identity with that heartbreak. We start questioning ourselves. We um we blame ourselves, and in some cases, like, we start to reject ourselves, we resent ourselves. Like, there's a lot of things that goes against ourselves, like, how could I be a fool to, like, do this, do that. It's a whole another level of negativity that goes inside to create that. Now let's say that that is the kind of heartbreak that you have experienced. After that, life just feels very um, rough and edgy. Usually that's what happened, because that person has covered their heart. There's, like, that energetical wall around their heart. All the scenarios we have talked about, they all usually experience life from this perspective. They are very logical. Everything has to make logic. They have hard time feeling and connecting with things. They might, like, feel it, but then to go the extra mile and actually connect with it might feel a little scary. So it's easier to stay stuck in our head. It sucks to stay stuck in your head. That's where that word was coming from. So they stay stuck in their head. They're very analytical. Everything has to make sense. Micromanagement, because that's how we gain control. That's one of the ways we gain control, so no one can take that control away from us. And it shows up in our behavior. For short term, it's good, but long term, it's a very lonely road. It's a road where emotional elements of life are not experienced, and our emotions are that makes our life so much juicier. Happiness, everything comes from that. It makes our life, um, I say this word, it makes our life so colorful when we can experience all these different varieties of emotions. when we are carrying a heart wall around us, it might lead into emotional outbursts too, because we are bottling up everything in there and not sharing, not expressing because we don't trust other people. It stays bottled up. And then, those people usually could have like anger management issues. Every single person who has anger management issue, they're just they just have a heart wall around their heart, energetical wall around their heart. Once they dissolve that, all the angers goes away because then we are connected with our heart. We connect with other people. We trust other people. As human being, we are like social. Otherwise, we would have been born on an island all by ourselves, but we are not. We live in communities. For us, connecting with other people is huge. That's why right now, I mean, I'm making this video in 2020, and the world is going through a pandemic, and a lot of people are in isolation. And that's why we are having such a hard time right now, so many of us emotionally, because we are not able to connect with people, and doesn't do the job for a lot of us. So the connection is very important. And when that connection is not there, then life doesn't feel the same way. And some um, extreme situations, I will say, when we have this heart wall and we have hard time connecting, we start connecting to the things that we shouldn't be connecting, and an addiction is born. We start connecting to maybe food, and people become addicted to food. It happens, it's a very, very commonly, it happens in women, the ones who get, mistreated physically in their childhood. It's very common, I will say. It's not guaranteed. It's very common for those little girls to develop some kind of food disorder when they grow up. Or the kids, these people, they can go for drugs, they can go for smoking, they can go for drinking, they could go for even pornography addiction. They can even go for that because they are looking for that connection, but they don't trust human to create that connection with human. So they create connection with other inhuman things. But when we connect with all these elements that, their connection can become addictive, the response in our body is same. It feels like you connected with somebody, even even though it was something. And each and every kind of addiction, I will do a detailed video on that in future. If we go in details, it does bring its own addiction. For example, if you're addicted to food, there's like the shopping, the cooking, the looking for recipe, inviting other people. There's a whole social impact, like, component to it. And the smoking circle, like, outside every building, there's like people coming together. This is social time. They're smoking and connecting. Same thing with drinking. Same, I can't say for the pornography because usually people do that secretly and privately. But again, with every addictive behavior, there is that component of connection. So this video has been, I didn't keep track of how long it's been. This video was all about bringing awareness in your life about heartbreak, about heart wall, and how important it is to resolve that. And it's very easy to resolve it. Now, if you get Dr. Bradley's book, you can do it through that. Just get a little bit more awareness, or you can reach out to me and I can help you with that too. And with that, I believe I will be concluding. One thing I want to leave you with, please reflect on your life. Did you go through any traumatic event from your childhood to your current age? Are you carrying a heart wall? Do you have hard time connecting with other humans? Do you have hard time trusting them or trusting yourself? Do you blame yourself? Do you judge yourself? All those things are sign of a disconnect from your heart. And I invite you to take the initiative. Take the initiative, give yourself the gift to connect with your heart, to heal your heart, and connect with that love that's inside of you. Life is so much more beautiful when we are connected with that love. So if you need help, please reach out to me, message me, or find me on Facebook. And with that, I'll be ending today's video and I will be back with another video on Thursday. So see you guys later. Love you. Bye.